Hi everyone, thanks for coming back for another video. Today is exciting. It's the first update of my brand new project, All the Things. So I posted a video back in January about a new project that I created, and I checked YouTube and couldn't find exactly a project that existed like this. So I created my own hashtag for it. I was inspired by my project pan. I also counted every single eyeshadow pan I had. I think the end of 2024 that posted. So between those things and just like realizing how much makeup I had, I created a project to track how many eyeshadow pans I'm using. And the goal is I eventually want to have used every single eyeshadow pan I have. Not like used it up, not panned it, but just touched every single one. I don't know if it's possible because as you'll see, the eyeshadow count fluctuates a lot and it goes up more than not, but I'm gonna track it. If there's blush or highlights included in the palette, I just counted it as a pan rather than like separate it out for what it's made for, because all of them are eventually going to go on my face. They're in those palettes. It also includes any eyeshadow singles, you know, the Super Shock shadows or something like that. So my last video, which of course I'll link, I explained what the project is, how I got the title, and I gave you a rundown of the numbers and what they looked like in that moment. This is the first update after that, so I'm still experimenting with like what to track, how to keep track, but the main goal is to use every eyeshadow pan. So far, I'm not doing this every month. I don't think there's going to be enough measurable progress month to month. So it's been 2.5 months since my explanation of the project. I also think once a month is just going to be too much for me. I have to like physically count each pan. I'll show you how I keep track of them. With everything going on right now too, it's March 2025, so I'm just kind of overwhelmed. But I'm here now and excited to give you my first update. So how I keep track of how many eyeshadows I have rather than going back and counting every single one like I did the first time, I have a spreadsheet. And I just put each eyeshadow on there with how many pans, and then I add up the column that has the pans in it. So the eyeshadows that come with like a plastic insert that just kind of protects the cover from the actual shadows falling out, I've been using to put check marks on top of the shadows that I've been using. And if they don't have a plastic insert like this one, I've been putting check marks on the clear cover. Some of these shadows I've discovered and they're amazing, so I'm like putting hearts on those. It's Sharpie marker, but you can always just wipe it off with alcohol if you don't want them to last on there. Actually, this one does have a plastic cover. It just also has a clear cover so you can see it. There's another palette I'll show you in a minute that is a sister brother palette to this, and it didn't have an insert, but I didn't need to like make one or anything because it was clear cover. Thanks, Profusion. Some of them don't have the plastic insert and they don't have a clear cover, and I've literally taped, like painter's tape, a little grid of the shadows that I have graph paper, and I just made a little grid and like taped it to it. It's intense. Once the palette is underway at all, I put a little flag sticky note on it, and when I finish it, so spoiler alert, I write the date and how many shadows this is. Actually, this one I just wrote the date on. Some of them have the number of shadows, but I mean, I have that tracked anyway. Right now, I mean, this is only a couple months in, but I'm trying to focus on the bigger palettes and just get them all checked off, use every single one, and then I can kind of just put them away and not forget about them, because I've been going back to the ones with hearts on them. But I have so many that, you know, some of the ones I finished, it's going to be a while before I get back to it, just to be honest. We'll talk about declutters and stuff in a minute. I've also managed to incorporate some singles. You know, I'll show you what I've completed so far. All right, so let's get to the numbers and the nerdy data and everything like that. When I first counted my eyeshadow pans, I had 1,333. Usually I don't say that, and I want you to go back and watch that video, which I'd still love you to do. But for the sake of tracking the data, I'll just tell you, okay? By the time I got to the first All the Things video in January 2025, I had 1,844 pans. I get a lot of free hauls, which I'm thrilled to get all the time. I don't think I bought a lot of eyeshadow recently. I'll check. I was given some very generous gifts and, like I said, some of the free hauls. So I'd gone up like 500 pans and I'm like, okay, I gotta do something. So I tried to declutter some. There were some big ones that I decluttered. There was a kind of a mystery Amazon palette that I think had 48 pans, and I wanted to, I wasn't sure how old it was. I didn't want to swatch it. It was very powdery, and I was like, what am I keeping this for? Like, I wanted to try it once, but I didn't need it. So I decluttered a couple pans. Then I got a full suitcase full of makeup for free, and it was ridiculously generous. It was all high-end stuff. I have a video of unpacking that thing. That was the most generous declutter gift I think I'll ever get. I mean, the woman who gives those to me, this was like her 4th time contacting me about a declutter. We linked up through a Facebook group that gives away free stuff. It's nice and safe porch pickup. Everybody knows where I am and stuff like that. Be careful if you're doing this online, but she's contacted me 4 times and has outdone herself every single haul. The suitcase was amazing, but there was a lot of eyeshadow in it. My eyeshadow pan count went up to 1,987 pans. So I had tried to declutter and then got like over 100 pans more. So I really tried to buckle down. I'm like, what am I going to use? What am I not reaching for? What did I completely forget that I had to begin with? And I managed to declutter some. So I went from 1987 to 1897. A little less than 100, but I was proud of myself because I did get rid of some stuff. And when I declutter it on this particular spreadsheet, I just delete it from the totals, and that's that. A lot of these palettes I've used in the past, but I'm counting starting with the project. So I probably did some at the end of 2024, like right before my first update, because I wanted to have something to tell you. And let me go ahead and tell you that now. January 4th, I had used, since the start of counting, 246 eyeshadow pans, which sounds like a lot, right? It was about 13% of what I had. At the time, there were 1,844 pans, and I used 246. So there were 1,598 left that I had to use. As of today, which is March 16th, I have used a total of 363 pans. I have more eyeshadow than last time, but it still brought me up to 19% of the eyeshadow pans that I've touched. So there were 1,598 remaining last update. There's 1,534 left this update. Again, it's been 2.5 months since the last update, and I've used 117 more in that time. I think there might have been 3 or 3.5 months that I was trying to figure out how to do this project and doing the check marks and stuff. So I've only used, 117 in the 2.5 months, and I used 246 in the beginning. But I think I did use more time in the beginning. I don't know. I'm not sure if my eyeshadow count has gone down or not. So January 4th, I had 1,844 eyeshadows and I had used 246. That was 13%. Today, March 16th, I have used 363 eyeshadows. I have 1,897 pans, but in total, I've still used 19%. So I've gone up, 6% more, of my collection that I've used. I'm gonna have to declutter more, man. It's working. It's working. I haven't bought eyeshadow, I know, since the last update, which is good. It's kind of keeping me honest. It's like, okay, what do you actually need and what can you get rid of and what, do you need to reach for more to just use it? Also, I think I'm missing a couple eyeshadows that I used. My friend gave me the Natasha Denona Roxa palette. I was stunned, But I know I used some because I did a look with it and I filmed it. I haven't edited it yet. So I may, how am I going to do that? I may just count those shades. I mean, it's only like 4 tops. So I may just count them in my next update. But I didn't put a sticker on it and I don't have it set up. So this is kind of a mystery, but I don't think it's going to skew anything too much. By the way, in case you're wondering what's on my face today, I used a Pat McGrath foundation that is really good, but not cruelty-free and overpriced. It was a gift, so I'm just gonna use it. I put a really creamy, beautiful ABH lipstick as a base. It's called Butterscotch. It's just, I love everything about it. And then on top is kind of a gold peachy gloss. I used a Ulak Moisture Shine lipstick, I believe, called Utopia. And it added a little peach. My goal was peach today, but it's hard to get peach without it looking just orange. I don't know, I guess peach has a little more pink in it or something. Because I pulled out this little Peach Fizz palette. Now you can see that I've been counting it, and I have 2 marked off on it. I don't know if you can see that in the glare. But even though it's called Peach Fizz, like, it's either tan or orange with 1 gold in the middle. But I did use 2 shades in here, and then for some reason, this Powerpuff Girls palette, if I mix some of these colors, I get a nice peach. So there's actually like 4 different colors on my eye right now. The first update, I had actually already used up a couple of palettes and a couple of singles, so I showed them in that last video. I'm not going to show them again because eventually I'm going to have hopefully my whole collection that I've completed. But the first one that I finished since the last update was my Project Pan, and I took the grid off of it because it was just kind of flapping around. But this is a little bit of a spoiler alert for my March Project Pan update, but this was 40 shades and I used everything in here. This, I mean, you know, I'm supposed to be using it and I'm trying to pan half of it, so I'm going to be using this the most. This one is kind of a, you know, sister or brother palette, I don't know, to that one. It's called Golden Time. It's a neutral one though. That one had a sheet that just fell, but I've touched every single one in here. And then I also finished a 42 shade palette from Profusion called Kaleidoscope, which is another rainbow palette. Now, obviously, I'm not going to hit pan in something like this, but I mean, and I had touched, you know, maybe half of them by the last update, but 40, 40, and 42, that's actually a big percentage of that 117 that I've used. I also used a little e.l.f. palette that I absolutely fell in love with. You can see there's some hearts on here. This is completely done now. I want to go back to this though. This is a beautiful palette for a sunset eye. I have it swatched on the channel, so you can check that out. I have this very decrepit L'Oreal palette from my first year in makeup where I wasn't doing the cruelty-free thing. I didn't know enough about it. 2 of the shades in here have fallen out, but what's left is a silver and a black. The silver is incredible. That's the only reason I've held on to it. Maybe I should try. I don't know if I can take a pan out. No, I don't think I can. I'm just saving it for the silver. Like, it's a great inner corner. I have other silvers. I should probably try to dupe it and just get rid of it, but I haven't. But it's done because technically there are only the 2. Another non-cruelty free one was this Almay single shadow. It was one of my free haul gifts, and it's really cool. It's pink that like it comes out as a cream, but it dries to like a powdery color. So I used that. I've used this a ton. It's an Essence Melted Chrome eyeshadow. Again, a gift. When I say gift, I don't mean PR. I'm not a big enough channel to get PR. This is all my own like motivation to use these, and it's just kind of just random. And then I used 3 ColourPop singles. One is from the Nightmare Before Christmas collection. There's a Lock, Shock, and Barrel Jelly Much Shadow, and it's the Barrel one. I think it might be the prettiest one and the most versatile one. I also think it's a duochrome. And then I used 2 ColourPop Super Shocks. This one is loose, so I have to be careful opening it. I used a gold one called Crimper, and then I used a silvery pink one called Frog. I love this one. I got a haul of Super Shock shadows back in 2022. Most of them have dried out. This was one of them. I use Inglot Duraline just to drop and like mix around and I can still use them. But some of them are like falling apart. I should probably do a declutter of those and just keep it to the ones that I like. Both of these have hearts. I love these because they don't budge and you can just whoop and it's done. I love it. So I think that was all I had to tell you today. So thanks for tuning in for the first update of all the things. Eyeshadow edition. I don't know why I'm doing it. For some reason, I'm just like really disorganized and nervous in my head. It's probably like because life is falling apart. But anyway, I'm okay today. I just can't think straight. But go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to see more about this project. It's probably going to evolve a little bit as I go, so we'll have to see how this pans out. No pun intended. Eventually, I'd love to do an All the Things Blush edition, All the Things Lip edition. That's going to be hard. But for now, this is the eyeshadow edition, and I love it. It's just, I don't know, it's fun. And it's fun to be like, okay, I need to use new shades, but also do the project pan that's old familiar shades. So it's subscribe for that as well. Okay, I can't think anymore, so thanks for watching this video. There's gonna be lots of bloopers, I think, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi everyone, thanks for coming back. No, I don't like the way that this is my first update on my brand new I'm nervous about this. I don't know why. Because it's my project, I guess. But inspired by that and see, I knew I was gonna do it. Sorry. I think my food's here. Why do I look crooked? Gosh, I'm a mess. Each pan, like, let me show you how that it didn't have a oh, I hate this already. I hate this. So oh my god, sorry, this is such a mess. I had 18 no the dawn of time. Also, the first palette that nope. So maybe I should calculate that. So this is all my, you know, my own opinion. I don't know. And then I used. So I don't think there's anything else. I'm getting really distracted.